start by removing this cover here on the door handle, just using a little pick. You can use a screwdriver, whatever you have. And next, with a T30, remove this bolt. Set that aside. It is right underneath, inside of this pocket here on the door. There's a little cover. Once you pull that up, it'll expose 2 T30 bolts. Take those out as well. Okay, there's a little push clip here. Push in on the center and then pop the outer piece out. That's unlocked now. Let's pull this up. You can flip it over and disconnect it. Set that aside. Now I'm going to take a plastic trim tool, stick it in behind here, and just keep prying. There are push clips around, and they're really stiff, so you have to pry with quite a bit of force to get this off. There we go. All right, here it is. It's coming off now. At this point, you can slide it up. Make sure this lock goes through. Don't forget, you still have a couple electrical connectors here. Let's remove this cable for the door handle. Press up on this. That unlocks it, and then lift the cable up and out of here. At this point, you can take the door panel, flip it over just a little bit. You can get access to the sides of this door switch here, the door lock switch, I mean. Pry on the side of the switch. That removes it from its retainer here. It's easier to do this than to disconnect it, because Chevy. And now your door panel is free. Let's pull the vapor barrier off. Unstick it from the sides, feed the switch through, let it hang there. Take the wiring harness, pull that through as well. And peel this off all the way. I guess you don't have to take it fully off, but it is easiest to do that. That way it's not in your way at all. I'm just going to flip it to the side here, let it sit there. I plugged my window switch back in. Because my window was rolled down, I'll have to bring it up a little bit, turn on the ignition, and roll the window up until you can see these 2 mounting bolts here. You don't have to go all the way up, so anywhere in here is fine. I'm going to go right around here. I can see both of these. Now unplug the window switch, set it aside, and turn off the ignition. 10mm bolts unbolt the window from the regulator. Oh. There we go. It's got some thread locker on it. There's the second one. At this point, you can take the window, push it up out of the regulator here. Basically, at this point, you can either remove the window or you can push it up and tape it out of your way. Let's put some tape on it. This will hold the window up for you. We'll put a few pieces of tape here. That way it's nice and secure. You have 5 10mm nuts and bolts here, so there's 4 nuts in total, 2 up top, which don't have to be removed, they just have to be loosened. All right, and then there's a 10mm bolt here. Also needs to just be loosened. It can slide out through this hole. Okay, just like that. And then these 2 on the bottom, they need to be fully removed. At this point, you can take the regulator with the motor, push it up just a little. Actually, pop it out the bottom first. Now you push it up, slide it out through these holes, and these are most useful for installation because you can just hook the regulator on. And now, if you just maneuver it the right way, you can pull it out through this opening here. And you have to just find the right angle. Before you pull it out all the way, remember the motor's connected with an electrical connector here. So let's remove that. You can push on this tab right here and this will unlock the motor, or the connector for the motor. Pull that back, and here is your old regulator and motor assembly. Let's take the new assembly, slide it in, and before you go too far, let's connect the new motor. It comes with a little extension harness. That's good. Let's slide it in the rest of the way. And I actually transferred the two top nuts and this bolt over from the old assembly over to this new one. So the new regulator comes pre-set up higher, so I have to bring it lower a little bit, that way it fits. Unplug this, turn off your ignition so you don't waste your battery, and now all I have to do is find the holes where it mounts, hook that on, take this side, hook this side on as well, and there you go. The bottom should line up, which it does, on both sides. All right, let's install the two bottom nuts. Okay, and then we can snug this all up. Perfect. Now let's loosen these up a little bit. This is where the window slides down, and right now they're fully tightened just for shipping so that the bolt doesn't come out. Okay, so just loosen it up. Don't take it all the way out. These should open up. It's like two little arms. And now you can take your window, take the tape off. With the tape removed, slide the window down. Make sure you hold it. You don't want it to go flying down. And then line it up with these two arms that hold the window on. Press it down all the way. Make sure it's bottomed out. And then you can snug these up. Okay, make sure they're nice and tight, but don't over tighten them. You don't want to break the glass. Perfect, right there. Let's test it out before it fully goes back together. Plug this in, turn on the ignition. That's perfect. Okay, now let's take the vapor barrier, feed this cable through, feed the wiring through. And the lock switch, oops. Press it tight up against the door, make sure it sticks back to where it was. Perfect. To get this door panel back, I'm going to start by reinstalling this lock switch here. Make sure that it lines up and clicks in. This wire harness here, make sure you put it through the hole so it doesn't get caught behind the door panel. And lastly, you have the door handle release cable, which you have to slide down. Basically, this piece here needs to slide into that hole on the handle. So slide that in first. Make sure it goes all the way down so it's secure. And then this plastic piece will slide down and lock in. There you go. That's locked in. Now take your door panel, put this lock rod through the hole. You don't want it to get stuck behind the door panel. There we go, slide that through. Okay, now line everything up, all the push clips. Because once you're at this point, all you have to do is push in the push clips. See, right there. But make sure they're lined up, otherwise when you push them to snap them in, they'll break. Okay, that's perfect. Get this out of here. Let's reconnect it. Set this back in place. It has a little tab here up front that needs to hook underneath the door panel. Press that down. Let's get the 2 Torx screws in. Start in the 2 T30 Torx bolts. 1, 2. And now let's put that little cover back on so I can hide them. Okay, that's good. Let's move up to this bolt over here. Start it in, snug it up. This also had a little cover here that you have to put back. Okay, snap that into place. For this push clip, before you put it back, you actually want to push the center out a little bit. That way it can fit in, and then to lock it in, you press it flush. There you go.